The US Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, is in the news once again, all for the wrong reasons. This man is now facing more allegations of sharing classified military information in another signal chat. The classified information that he allegedly shared this time was once again on the US attacks in Yemen. Usually, you would be looking at 15 years in jail for such crimes. But Hegseth has now been accused of committing this crime twice, the second time in as many months. And he continues to hold the post of Secretary of Defense. That's the new USA for you under Donald Trump. Remember how he has shared classified information on similar military strikes against Yemen in a signal chat group earlier? You can watch my video here. The matter had dominated the conversations in the US, both inside and outside the Senate.
Yesterday, we stunningly learned that senior members of this administration, and according to reports, two of our witnesses here today were members of a group chat that discussed highly sensitive and likely classified information that supposedly even included weapons packages, targets, and timing, and included the name of an active CIA agent. Putting aside for a moment that classified information should never be discussed over an unclassified system, it's also just mind-boggling to me that all these senior folks were on this line and nobody bothered to even check Security Hygiene 101. Who are all the names? Who are they? Well, it apparently included a journalist. And no matter how much the Secretary of Defense or others want to disparage him, this journalist had at least the ethics to not report, I think, everything he heard.
And yet, this man didn't face any consequences. This time, he is facing more allegations of a similar nature. According to the New York Times, Hegseth shared classified military information on Yemen strikes in another signal chat whose members were his wife, brother, and personal lawyer. This is where this becomes quite ludicrous and murky. His wife Jennifer previously worked for Fox News as a producer. His brother Phil and lawyer Tim Parlator are both associated with the US Department of Defense in different capacities. But there's absolutely no way you can justify the reason why Hegseth should share such classified military information with these three people. The US Department of Defense has 250,000 personnel working for it. Why did Hegseth choose to share this information with three of his close mates or relatives? What was he trying to do? Just brag about holding an important position and what he was capable of doing? Or the guy simply lacks judgment and therefore is not suited to hold important positions? His boss, Donald Trump, who should have swiftly acted against him when the first set of allegations surfaced, has defended Hegseth once again. Trump said that those reporting on Hegseth's signal chat were fake news peddlers. Not my words, he's saying it.
Ask the Houthis how much dysfunction there's none. Pete's doing a great job. Everybody's happy with him. We have the highest recruitment numbers I think we've had in 28 years. No, he's doing a great job. It's just fake news. They just bring up stories. I guess it sounds like disgruntled employees. You know, he was put there to get rid of a lot of bad people, and that's what he's doing. So you don't always have friends when you do that.
Should he stop using the app?
This is precisely what Hegseth also said. Why wouldn't he? After all, his convicted felon boss has just justified his Secretary of Defense's crime. Watch how he reacted when a reporter sought his response on this controversy.
What do you want to say, sir, about the signal chat controversy?
You know, what a big surprise that a few leakers get fired and suddenly a bunch of hit pieces come out from the same media that peddled the Russia hoax won't give back their Pulitzers. They got Pulitzers for a bunch of lies. Pulitzers for a bunch of lies and on hoaxes, time and time and time again. And as they peddle those lies, no one ever calls them on it. See, this is what the media does. They take anonymous sources from disgruntled former employees, and then they try to slash and burn people and ruin their reputations. Not going to work with me, because we're changing the Defense Department, putting the Pentagon back in the hands of warfighters, and anonymous smears from disgruntled former employees on old news doesn't matter. So I'm happy to be here at the Easter egg roll with my dad and my kids, because this is what we're doing it for. These kids right here. This is why we're fighting the fake news media. This is why we're fighting slash and burn Democrats. This is why we're fighting hoaxsters. This group, no, this group right here, full of hoaxsters that peddle anonymous sources from leakers with axes to grind, and then you put it all together as if it's some news story. And when we know exactly what it is. So I'm really proud of what we're doing for the president, fighting hard across the board, and I'm going to go roll some Easter eggs with my kids. Thank you very much. Have spoken to the president, and we are going to continue fighting on the same page all the way. Come on, guys.
What a shameless man. But the most comical and dangerous defense of his crime came from White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt. She accused the Pentagon. Yes, not Democrats, not a certain section of the press, but Pentagon, of working against Hegseth. It's like blaming the White House for the crimes of Donald Trump. I mean, Trump should be applauded for handpicking such talents to be part of his administration. Listen to what she had to say.
The president stands strongly behind Secretary Hegseth, who is doing a phenomenal job leading the Pentagon. And this is what happens when the entire Pentagon is working against you and working against the monumental change that you are trying to implement. Secretary Hegseth was nominated for this position because he is standing up for the war fighter, the men and women in uniform who are putting their lives on the line to protect our country and our homeland. And unfortunately, there have been people at that building who don't like the change the secretary is trying to bring, so they are leaking and they are lying to the mainstream media. We've seen this game played before. The secretary is doing a tremendous job, and the president stands strongly behind him.
The U.S. Congress and Senate should have acted firmly in a bipartisan manner to get this guy fired. I mean, Hegseth. But most members of these houses are themselves severely compromised. They are united only on one issue, and that is their first and foremost loyalty to a foreign entity called Israel. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to conclude that they simply do not care about the damage caused to U.S. interests by its corrupt and incompetent politicians. That's it from me. Thank you very much for your support of this platform and our journalism on buymeacoffee.com and Patreon. If you do think that our journalism is worth supporting, then you too should consider becoming part of it. Details are there in the description of this video. In the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.